Hi, today we're going to do a type of printmaking that you can do when you are at home. Most of you may know that printmaking is a type of artwork where you create an image and then you can make a print or a stamp of that image, usually over and over again. Today's will be a little bit different. We're going to be using markers and we're going to be using styrofoam plates, or you could even use styrofoam bowls, or if you have a takeout box, you could get some help to cut on the takeout box and use a styrofoam square or rectangle from it to create your drawing. Now, this part of printmaking, this item is called the printing plate. And the printing plate is where you design your original piece of artwork. And on my styrofoam plate, on the back side, I created a picture of a cat. My Bethel friends know that I have a cat named Remy, and he's always showing up in the artwork that I do in the classroom. So Remy's going to help us do our printmaking today. So all I did on the back side of the plate is I drew my picture with the markers. And I made sure it was colorful. I had patterns. I filled up the space. So you would do the same thing if you were using the bottom of a bowl or if you were using a piece from a takeout box. The next step is to have a piece of paper. This is just paper that comes from the printer. So it's just a normal piece of paper that you might have around your house. You can even use drawing paper from a sketchbook if you have something like that. So you need a piece of paper, at least one, but you can do this multiple times. You're also going to need either a sponge that is wet or a paper towel that's wet. You could also use a washcloth that's wet if you would like. And what you're going to do is you're going to make the paper damp. You don't want to have puddles on it, but you do want to make sure that it has wetness to it. So you can either take your sponge and just swipe over the paper carefully. You'll start to see that it gets a little bit wet. Or if you have a paper towel, you'll do the same thing. Just rub over your paper to make it get wet. Then you'll take your styrofoam printing plate that you have already drawn on, and you're going to flip it over and press it to the wet paper. You're going to rub the back of it a good bit to make sure that the marker will go off of the printing plate and onto your paper. You're going to rub for a little bit longer than you think you might need to, just to make sure that most of your picture shows up on that paper that you're using. I'm going to rub it. And then when I think I've got it, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to check under it to make sure that the image is showing up on the paper. And then I'm going to pull it off. And I now have a print of that drawing that I did on my styrofoam plate. Put this somewhere to dry. Since it's damp, it's easier to rip, so make sure you put it off to the side to dry. And then you can clean off the styrofoam. Make sure you get another piece of paper towel to make sure it's nice and dry. And you can redraw another image on the back of your plate. Get another piece of paper, dampen the paper again, and you can make another print. And you can do that over and over again. And it's a lot of fun to do this type of printmaking. So I hope you remember to have fun, be creative, and I can't wait to see some of the things that you create.